So it is February, and I still don't know if my cow is pregnant because I had my own baby back in November, and she didn't have any signs of going into heat again after we had her bred back in September. But then, of course, after my own baby was born, I haven't exactly been paying the closest attention. So we're hopefully going to find out here if our cow is pregnant. I'm Kelsey from RoughAndTumbleFarmhouse.com, and every single week I share content about farming, family food, and fortitude here on our 5-acre homestead in northern Minnesota. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to get a milk sample from my cow. She is still in milk. She still has her calf with. I can definitely tell her milk supply has gone way down. Her calf mostly eats hay, and I think just has a little bit of a snack here and there with milk. And I'll film the cows just so you can see them because they're adorable. But I probably won't film the process because it is only about 5 degrees out there, and I film just on an iPod. And these suckers, when it's this cold outside, the battery life disappears in about a half second. If you want to see me milk my cow, go ahead and check out some of the other videos I have on here talking about how to milk your cow. So what we're going to be doing is we are sending in a milk test to our local DHIA lab, and it depends on where you live, how close you might be to one. Ours is over an hour away, so we're just going to take a milk sample and mail it. All right, got our milk sample. You don't need much. Just put it in a water bottle down here. I'm not currently milking right now. Again, had a baby not that long ago, and so I'm exhausted. And we typically stop milking around Christmas anyway, and are more a little bit of a seasonal dairy just because it is very, very cold here in the winter, and it's just easier on everybody for us not to milk. So most of the time, our moms just kind of wean down on their own with their babies, just kind of let the process happen naturally. But sometimes with Jerseys, they'll let their babies, or any mom, I'm sure, lets their baby stay on a little longer than they should if they're pregnant. So it's important to know if she's bred, both for kind of planning about breeding her back again, knowing when to expect a baby, of course, and then also knowing when we would need to make sure she is weaning that calf if she's not doing it on her own. All right, so we have the milk sample. Let's get this thing packaged up. She said, the gal on the phone, who was super nice, said about a pill bottle size is plenty. She said she'd rather have a solid milk sample and not have milk leaked all over a package. She doesn't care about cutting through tape. So wrap this sucker up. She said then to freeze it in the freezer, and then to get it in the mail. And it's, again, pretty cold right now, so hopefully this shouldn't be spoiled by the time it gets to a town that's just a little over an hour away. The really nice thing about sending in a milk sample versus having a vet come out and preg check is that the cost of having a vet come preg check is at $60 minimum just to have the vet come out, and I think it's at least $20 to have them do the actual preg check. So we're looking at around an $80 bill to see if our cow's pregnant, versus if you send in a milk sample, if your cow is still in milk, there's the cost of postage, of course, and then the cost of having the test done is $4.50. And when she told me on the phone, she said it was $4.50. I just paused and said, "Is that $450 or $4.50?" Obviously, $450 sounds way too expensive, but only just about $5 to find out if your cow is pregnant is incredible. So I am filming this ahead of time, obviously, and we should get our results back in by the end of the week, and we'll find out if she's pregnant or not. I'm hoping she is pregnant. The only bummer is we missed a couple of her earlier heat cycles. Our friend who comes in AIs for us, he does other farming, and wasn't able to make it out because he had field work he had to do. So she was bred a lot later than I wanted her to. So she's going to calve later than I wanted her to, which then means that she'll be bred back again kind of a little bit later than I'd like her to be. So if she isn't pregnant, the only positive side is that I will breed her a lot sooner this summer, probably late summer as opposed to early fall, because it's not ideal to have your animal not be bred for long periods, just because then they tend to get over conditioned and it can be harder to get them bred again. So fingers crossed that we get positive results, and you'll be there with me when we find out. So fingers crossed. All right, so this is an unexpected addition to the video. I'm still waiting for the results of Juneberry's pregnancy test, but I'm pretty positive they're going to come back negative because she was just jumping on her calf from last year. I'll show you the crew. Here she is. There's her calf. She was just jumping on her. And then also, we're going to come and look at her rear end. And you can see there is some pretty healthy mucus there. hang off her tail, which tells me that she is more likely than not in heat right now. I'll try and get another shot here. She'll hold still. The goats are running around like idiots, which she doesn't care for. Saw quite a bit of mucus, real glistening, and her jumping on her calf. That would tell me that she's more likely than not pregnant, which is a total bummer. The only upside is we can get her bred hopefully sooner this summer and calve earlier in the spring next year. I definitely don't want to breed her at this point because then she'd calve in the fall, and we typically kind of wind up our milking around Christmas time usually because it's just too cold. You can probably hear the wind billowing. A storm just blew through. But yeah, so it's a bummer, but at least now I'll kind of know to not expect to give you a very excited pregnancy test reveal in another couple of days, because yeah, and even her behavior right now, she's totally being an idiot. So I'm thinking it's going to be a big old negatory on the pregnancy. So here we got the results in. It just took 3 days from mailing them to getting the results back. And if you look over here, you can see that this is for Juneberry, and as you slide across, you see that it says open, which in cattle speak means that she is not pregnant, unfortunately. So there you have it. She's not bred, but the nice thing is now we can get her bred back a lot sooner this summer, which is a good thing. And now I know how to do a milk test, and so do you, to see if your cow is pregnant. Thanks so much for watching. You can always find more videos here every single week about farming, family food, and fortitude here at our Rough and Tumble Farmhouse.